editor extraordinaire Allison O'Toole. How's it been here at the convention?
It's been good. Lots of people, a lot of great conversations. People seem really excited. So I always love meeting folks at these events.
Yesterday, if you're okay with talking, you had a very interesting conversation. In fact, the first I've heard in this kind of realm that anybody has ever talked to as an editor.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't really understand what editors do. And like a lot of it is sort of creative feedback, but I also just do a lot of project management, and sometimes I start explaining that and people's eyes glaze over a little bit. But also I think the demographics of this show are not always entirely comics fans, we'll say. So we had someone who was a little surprised that my end game for a project could be making a comic book rather than making the comic book into a movie or a TV show or something. So it was strange to have to explain that, no, I just like comics and want to make them. So who knew? There's still people out there who don't get that.
You guys just recently announced a book that you guys have coming out called, I'll let you say the title because I tripped over it a few times.
It's called White House Robot Romance by Chip Zdarsky and Rachel Stott with colors by Tamara Bonvillain. And that's going to be coming out in June. It's a story about two robots who are working at the White House. One is a security bot and one is a chef. The two of them fall in love and go on the run, but this jeopardizes the US president's plan to invade Canada. So it turned out to be quite a topical book.
Yeah, it's amazing how timely it has gotten. This is coming out through Distillery, right?
Yeah, it's a Distillery, and the first book should be out in June.
Fantastic. I love Distillery's just having a glow up. All the great titles that are coming out of it, and I love their formatting and everything like that. So when it comes to, like, that's right, when I look at the formatting styles of certain books, like, does that really come into effect when you're working with the artist of like deciding the format and things like that?
Yeah, for the most part, publishers will know in advance what they want, so you kind of already know what constraints you're working in. This Distillery mode is really cool because just a bigger page means you have more space for storytelling. Your lettering doesn't have to be any bigger than it would be on a standard size book, so there's just more space for the art, and it ends up feeling really cinematic, so I really love the way their books look.
You've been doing this for quite a long time, a lot of great creators. Have there been like certain creators, like, again, not naming names or anything, but like have creators come to you and be like, hey, I want you to edit my book, where you've gone, I don't know if this is a right fit for me?
Yeah, that's definitely happened, and not always right at the beginning of the process either. Often it's just a case of what they want to do with the comic isn't necessarily my personal storytelling taste, and not that everything I edit has to be, you know, laser targeted to me or anything, or else everything I did would be about monsters. But like I've had books where people have approached me where they want to do something that like really isn't character focused or has goals that are just like a little outside of my comfort zone in terms of editing. So I have said no when I just didn't think I would be the best person to shepherd that story, and that someone else might do a better job.
Now, of course, we all love comics, and it's obvious you love comics with all the work you put into getting good comics out there, but we all have our guilty pleasures when it comes to comics, except for Michael Walsh, who says there are no guilty pleasures.
Okay, I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I think we should unabashedly wear on our sleeve the things that we enjoy and love, and if people shame us into thinking that it's not cool and not okay to like things that give us joy and bring us joy, that's bullshit. Because we should be able to like everything that we like, and those things that we like make us who we are. There's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. We don't have to be pretentious. We don't have to always love like the most arduous Oscar-winning film. I can go home and enjoy Sailor Moon with all the rest of the people who love Sailor Moon. You know, like there doesn't have to be guilt to our pleasures, in my opinion, especially in the media we consume.
What's your guilty pleasure when it comes to comics?
That's a good question. Again, probably like I'm on the thought, but there are some, I can think of some online first comics where I would maybe have different notes for the storytelling, particularly around like monsters who are sad and are kissing. But I'm also really sympathetic. I think a lot of stuff that's being published serially online, you're kind of at the mercy of your reader base. And I think people can be really vocal about what they do and do not want to see in those sorts of stories. And superhero writers get this as well, but they at least are doing things so far ahead and have a publisher behind them. If you're just kind of drawing something yourself and putting it on the internet and people are screaming at you directly in the comment section, I'm sympathetic when people feel like they can't take risks risks or be really creative with the storytelling in that kind of environment. So that's maybe the closest to a guilty pleasure, but I kind of agree with Michael also that I don't know, they're all like, people are working really hard to make these, and you know, we know better than anybody who are also making comics, so I would have a hard time saying it was really guilty if I'm spending my time reading any comic.
Fair enough. So I guess the message is read more comics, people. You'll find some great stories and the story that's right for you.
Yes, exactly. I really think it's such a wide pool, and I think if you're only reading comics that like look or feel a certain way, go to your local library, grab something that feels totally different, and maybe you'll find something new to love.
All right, well, Allison, thank you for once again being a golden ray of sunshine in the comics world. Always positive. We love you for it.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to chat.